It's now been a full year since Russia invaded Ukraine, and we've done a lot of polling on it since then. But where does public opinion sit now, and how has it changed? Well, first, Joe Biden is doing better than ever when voters are asked to rate the way he's handling the situation in Ukraine. Here are his current numbers, and he has a combined 41% excellent and good rating. And while those numbers aren't higher than in late December, that 37% poor is down 2 points. Here's how his ratings changed over time, and as you can see, the ratings have been going up and up. Now, why is this happening? First off, Biden approval is up almost 10 points from where it was a year ago, driven almost entirely by his Democrat approval rating. But the situation in Ukraine has changed quite a bit since then as well. Well, look at these numbers from before the invasion. These are by far Biden's worst numbers related to Russia. And it's fair to believe that with numbers this bad, only 20% of Democrats rated him excellent. That some voters, in part, blamed him for the eventual invasion. But now for a year, he's been having foreign policy meetings, international trips, lots of funding, and lots of talking tough on Russia. So it's understandable to see that his numbers have improved. But here's how the party numbers have changed year over year. Democrats are 13 points more likely to rate him excellent or good, stolen about equally from fair, poor, and not sure. Independents have mostly just shifted from poor to good, but look at Republicans. They have the biggest shift in public opinion, with 18 points shifting from poor to elsewhere, mostly to fair. Is the United States doing too much or not doing enough to help Ukraine fight the Russian invasion? Or is the amount of U.S. support to Ukraine about right? 35% of voters say too much, and 28% say not enough. 28% also say we're doing about the right amount. How are these numbers from a historical perspective? They've shifted a ridiculous amount. A little less than a year ago, 45% of voters said we were doing not enough, and 15% said too much. And now again, 20% higher, 35% say we're doing too much. Over the year, American public opinion has inexorably shifted away from Ukraine, with too much recently overtaking not enough. I think it is a fair assumption that this trend will continue, and since it seems to be contrary to the trend in Biden's rating on the issue, I think it's fair to say that maybe Americans are either increasingly seeing the situation as unwinnable or perhaps too expensive. Here's how party sentiment has shifted. Republicans were always more likely than others to say we're doing too much, but that's increased even more, with now 44% of Republicans saying we're doing too much, and only 47% saying not enough or about right. Independents and Democrats had a 12-point increase in too much. But unlike independents, the exact same amount of Democrats today, 34%, as they did a year ago, say we're not doing enough. Who is winning right now, Russia or Ukraine? Well, voters are about split, but 46% say the conflict is a stalemate, the highest number we've ever seen. These numbers have shifted somewhat over time, with the highest amount, 32%, saying Ukraine was winning just this December, and the most, 24%, saying Russia was winning in June. Here are the party numbers, and there isn't much of a signal, though notice that Democrats are least likely to say it's a stalemate and most likely to say that Ukraine is winning, about twice as likely as Republicans and independents. Who's most likely to say that Ukraine is winning? Almost exclusively those who approve of Joe Biden, and those who disapprove overwhelmingly say the conflict is either a stalemate or being won by Russia. Like I said before, we have a lot of great polling about Ukraine. Like this one from July, voters overwhelmingly, and by a 3-1 margin, want this conflict to end without Ukraine ceding any territory to Russia. How's that going to work out? If you want to see, then follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube or Rumble, and drop any thoughts or question ideas in the YouTube comments. And thanks for watching.